Hi everyone, and welcome to another speed paint. Today I'm going to be drawing Marceline and Bubblegum because as of recording this, or like yesterday as of recording this, the new episode, or rather the final episode of Adventure Time dropped, and we got Bubbline, and it was great, and I cried so much. Also, before we kind of get more into this, if you hear background noise like the kids outside, I'm sorry, they're always screaming. Or if you hear things being moved around, it's just my cat being annoying. No, I love you. Baby, what are you doing? Oh, he's leaving. He knows when he's not wanted. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, we got Bubbling confirmed with a kiss, and it was wonderful, and you can see the little screenshot there on the side. I was actually planning on drawing them in like that, but then I decided against it just because I wanted to draw, I draw some different fashion. You know how it be. Anyway, this isn't going to be the only speed paint I'm gonna do for Adventure Time in terms of like the finale. I want to do like one big piece, just because Adventure Time has been with me for like the longest time, and if some of you might like remember or know, or if you're still around from then, like when I first like uploaded my very first speed paint, it was a Marshall Lee speed paint. I think it was the first. I'm pretty sure it was the first. It was Marshall Lee, and you know, I've grown up with this show. It's one of the first shows where I really, took an interest in cartoons and animation, and it's been just so important to me. I've got like so many freaking posters of Adventure Time, and sure, in the last few seasons or so it kind of went a little downhill, but to deny the impact that it's made on the animation industry, especially like in Cartoon Network and all that fun stuff, and to deny its influence on me, that'd be just it'd be a crime. And I love this show, and it's so bitter to see it come to an end. But at the same time, I'm glad that it is ending, because I don't want it to be a situation where it's like something like SpongeBob, where it's just, it's gone on for way too long, no one likes it anymore, the writing is so different and poor from what it used to be that it's there's nothing, it's not worth anything anymore. So I'm kind of glad that it's going out the way it is, because it kind of was falling into that sort of not being as good as it used to be sort of thing, or maybe we just grew up in the humor, and like I said, I'm very sad to see it go, but at the same time, I'm glad that it's, going out the way it is. I like I said before, I don't know if I finished my thought. I want to do another speed paint for Adventure Time, just sort of like finishing thoughts, like my love letter to Adventure Time, and the way that it shaped who I am, and my love for animation, and how it really introduced me in like to all of this. I still have like so many things, like sketches and stuff, like in my folders of like shitty Adventure Time fan art, and just it's so crazy. This show raised a generation, and now it's coming to an end. And wow. Anyway, enough about that. We'll speak about that some other time. Right now, let's talk about Bubbline, and just I'm so glad that it finally got confirmed. I know like we've had it like spoken about here and there in interviews, and all that fun stuff, and confirmed that they used to have a thing but they don't really have a thing anymore. And I think even at one point when they did say that, they had to deny it right away, because I don't know, they were like, oh, you can't say that, blah blah blah, and all that weird shit. So it's so amazing that now we get to actually like Matski. We've come so far, and now we get like actual confirmation and allow them to be an on-screen romance and all that stuff. It sucks that it had to pull a sort of like a Kurosami thing where it had to be shown at the end, but I also understand that the circumstances of which they were trying to write it under, and also the time that it was trying to be written. Things were still very, iffy and weird for the LGBT community, and in terms of like media representation and all that fun stuff. And they just couldn't. But thanks to people like Rebecca Sugar and Steven Universe and all that fun stuff, and even Adventure Time, which laid down the sort of grounds for things like Steven Universe to happen. I just think it's amazing that we finally get this sort of thing, and like it's been such a slow burn. Like Adventure Time's my favorite slow burn Bubbline fic. Jeez, and I feel like Bubbline was one of like the first female ship that I really had, or that one that I really enjoyed at least. And one that wasn't fetishized to the shithouse and back, or at least from my experience of, viewing it as a child or whatever. And it feels so good, and their relationship was explored, I think, wonderfully through, like, the sort of undertones, because Adventure Time has been sort of, like, dabbled in, like, romance and all that fun stuff, but it's never been something extremely centric around it, and I just love the way that Bubbline was able to be explored under the circumstances, because it was still like they were not bitter but kind of bitter exes, and things were complicated, and they kind of were on speaking terms but kind of not, and just sort of the process that entire thing went through. And I'm so glad that we got it the way we did. It's just, I think it's wonderful, and I'm glad that we got confirmation. I'm so glad. Anyway, moving away from my, like, feelings. My feelings. Let's talk about a little bit about the speed paint and stuff. So, with this, I wanted it to be extremely colorful, because Adventure Time has always been pretty, wacky wild with its colors. And I wanted to do a thing that I used to do in the past, and I might continue to do so now, because I like it, where I put down a base color of whatever it may be. Usually I go for, like, yellows or pinks. Rare are the times that I use blue, but it's mostly, like, those sort of tones, like pinkish, orangish, peachish sort of like tones for the base. And then on top of that, I add in hints of the actual colors of the characters. Being for Bubblegum, it's more towards pinks and all that stuff, and for Marceline, it's more blues and that thing. And then on top of all of those colors, and those colors aren't even like proper like base sort of colored in how you would, like, let's say a line art or something. On top of that, I add in extra colors like yellows and aquas and greens and all these funky colors, and just sort of make it like this really weird colorful mess. And then on top of that, once I'm satisfied with sort of the base quote unquote colors for all of this, I then go in on top with the actual like proper colors, meaning like the skin and the jacket, how it's black, and Marceline's hair did turn out a little more sort of left in with the color, but I really like that look, and that's why I wanted to do this, because a lot of the undercolor, which is like all colorful and rainbowy and shit, is left in. It just makes it look so much nicer, and just this burst of color. And I have a lot of fun like doing these sort of speed paints, because they are a little more challenging, I suppose, than like normal ones, where it's standard, you color in the things properly, you shade it the way you do, but this just gives it a whole new level of color, and it's just a lot of fun, and it requires a little more sort of like, oh, how do I paint this so it looks like the color that it's supposed to be, but also still retain that colorful vibe that I'm going for. And it's just it's a bundle of fun. And I also really liked how Bonnie's hair turned out, specifically the shine. That shine just looks tasty, I'm telling you. Absolutely tasty. The thing that I do with the sort of shine, the way I do it is I lay down, let's say in this particular case it's a yellow, I lay down a sort of soft pastel yellow, and then I go on top with a white, which I think looks really nice, because whenever you're using, let's say, the luminosity layer mode on whatever it is you're doing, usually whenever you place down a color, it does have a slight tinge of color around it, even if it does look pretty white and like blinding. And I do like it, but I don't like how blinding and just how intense it is, and I can't like sort of control that. Sometimes it's good. Most of the time I just don't really like using it unless I need something like magic or something. But in this cases, I sort of I guess emulate that in a sense. Again, I have more control like this, so that's, you know, fun and dandy. So I kind of do that, and I like to make it a little more thicker than, you know, than I guess what would naturally occur with like a luminosity layer. I think it looks nice, and I think it just sort of gives it this nice sort of vibe to it. For the background, I wanted to keep it fairly simple. I wanted to keep it light and like lovely, and I wanted to have some text in there because, you know, why not? It's cute, you know. And so I just decided to go for the love is love thing because, you know, love is love, and that's cute, and, you know, fun things. And I had a little bit of trouble deciding on what color to actually make it. I was, you know, dabbling around. I tried the bi flag and the gay, like, pride flag or whatever, and then I was talking to a friend, and then I settled down on this, like, sort of pinkish looking thing. I don't know if it's in speed paint, but yeah. That's it for now. I hope I didn't ramble on too much, or my cat bothered too much. And, yeah. This is amazing. I love this. Fucking blessed adventure time. Goodbye. I'm so sad to see you go, but I'm so glad to have you as a part of my life. And I guess I'll see you next time in the next speed paint, which probably will be adventure time, but I cannot confirm. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the speed paint, and I will see you next time.